What's up, it's Evan Carmichael. I just found out that Alex is going to be doing a review on one of my books. I'm really curious to see what he has to say. I hope you are too. Let's go, Alex!
Thank you, Evan, for that awesome introduction. And you are right, I am gonna review this book. Kind of, sort of, because I'm only gonna be focusing in on this main core message. Finding your one word. The thing that really defines you as a person, because that is such a tremendously important exercise to go through. The other details of the book, I'm gonna set them aside for this video. There's tons of other good videos going through this, and I will hit you up with good links down there. Let me start this thing off with a good quote that really represents what this book is all about. There's one word that defines who you are, connects all the things in your life that makes you come alive, and will help you escape the chains of mediocrity. I can't pronounce that word. Now, sorry to say this, Evan, but I kind of started off with being a bit skeptical about this whole book. One word defining all complex me. I don't know, isn't that just simplifying things a bit too much? I have to say, Evan, you have me convinced. Because after going through this book, this process of finding my word, I realized the power that lies within this. Because I also went through a similar process with the book Finding Your Why with Simon Sinek, and I got this nice why statement, but I haven't been using it. It just, it never spoke to me in the same way this one word has done. Once you have clarity, once you know who you are and what you want out of life, everything else just becomes easy. It's a decision-making filter. You put these decisions through this word. Is this action aligning with what I believe in? We all have our dips, but in those times we need to ask what it is that really is important and why we are doing what we are doing. This word just might give you that extra fuel that you need. Knowing who you are and what you stand for makes it easier to go out and socialize, because there's a confidence within now that you kind of know. I'm kind of feeling that I found myself, like that's who I am, and that really has added a whole lot to my self-esteem, to the confidence in who I am and what I believe and what I stand for and what road I'm gonna take ahead. I can't sell you on this, you just have to experience it for yourself. And that's why I want to put this video out here to you, showing you the process that is outlined in this book. It's very simple, but it does require some digging, looking at who you are and what makes you come alive. Basically, it's a bunch of questions you should be answering about yourself. He divides it into 5 main questions on the first part, and then he talks about the 4 limiting beliefs that we have and how we can use this negative side of ourselves to gain more clarity. So the first question is, what makes you happy? What kind of movies do you like? What kind of friends do you have? What kind of books, food, music? What kind of things brings joy and happiness to your life? And all these things that makes you happy is an essential part of the next question. What's the central theme? Look over the words you have written and try to condense them down to one theme that represents you the best. Try to narrow it down to 5 top candidates. Maybe a noun, a verb, an adjective. It doesn't matter as long as it speaks to you, as long as you understand what it means to you. Perhaps already you have found that one word that just, for most of you guys, it will require digging deeper. And hence we got more questions to answer. What trait do you hate? Sometimes the other side of the coin will give us the answer that we are looking for. For me, I have some particular traits that I'm not too fond of. Perhaps not too surprisingly, fierce is one of those things that I really hate. And that's why that's the central theme of my channel. And knowing that really helped me to define my word. I looked at that and then thought, what is on the other side? So simply just looking at yourself and what you hate may unlock the understanding of what you really are about. Now this 4th main question that Evan puts out, what's your constant, means that this word you are seeking to find, it's not something that changes. What truly represents you is something that was you 10 years ago. It's something that is you in 10 years. It's just who you are deeply within. And that thinking unlocked some new perspectives within me. Like, how did I live my life when I was a kid? How would I like my life to be in 30 years? Another good question you can ask yourself is if you are like your parents, or perhaps the opposite. Your parents obviously have shaped you to some extent. If you're still having difficulties finding your one word, you may have a look at the more popular ones. Don't be afraid to pick something that someone else has. It's all about how you define it. And when you have that list of words, perhaps you've already narrowed it down to one word. Ask yourself this last question that Evan puts out. Is this really who you are? It's not about who you wish to be or hope to be. It's about who you really are and what you stand for, what you believe in. So if you can look at that word and honestly say that, yes, that is a representation of me, then you're home. But so this process will probably take you more than 15 minutes. For me, it was a period of 6 hours on the bike going through these questions, thinking about who I am, really feeling the words. That's how I found my word. And these tips along the way really helped me to get there. They unlocked more and more pieces, which eventually led me to the one word that spoke to me: freedom. Freedom is my word. It's what defines me. Looking back at my history, how I grew up, what kind of person I was as a kid, as a young guy, the kind of person I want to be in the future, what attributes I have taken from my parents, all these questions that Evan put out in such a good way, they made me find my word, and it's freedom. And I feel free to have found this. I just feel like I'm home. I now know what drives me. And I think this is hard to grasp if you haven't been through the process. And I can say this because it was 3 weeks ago since I found this word, and I just have gained such tremendous amount of clarity since that day. So just have faith in the process, go through the questions and see if it can unlock that word that speaks to you. Now, Evan also talks about 4 limiting beliefs and how addressing those issues may unlock that word. I'm not going to go through that right now. Instead, I'm going to let Evan talk a little bit about this. The little man, the stories we tell ourselves, all that shit that doesn't benefit us. But before letting Evan close this video down with that talk, I just have to say that on a holistic level, this book has truly hit some great points. Not only from the point of finding my one word, because that's perhaps a third of this book, even less. Because what Evan also do is that he gives you a guide for how to utilize this word of yours in a business and a personal branding context. Now, this book has a clear business theme, and that's probably the section you will find it in. But you have to understand that marketing is not only about branding your company, it's about how you put yourself out there, how you are marketing yourself to your friends, to your family, to the work career you're pursuing. You can't look at this black and white and be afraid of everything that says business. Life kind of is business. You are running your own company where you are your main good. There's a great campaign chapter when he goes through how to think about logo, sound, all these things for your branding side. And even if you're not into creating a business of your own, there's a lot of good material here that are applicable to you and your personal life. Even more so, throughout the book, he presents relevant and very interesting and motivating cases, people that have used this methodology in their life and businesses. Because realize this, Evan is not the first one to use this model. It is constantly repeated throughout history. There is a power to having this clarity, and the case studies that he presents throughout the book really drag that point home over and over again. It is for sure an inspirational journey that will help you on so many levels. So I thank you for staying with me throughout this video. I hope it brought you some value. Also, make sure to check out Evan's channel. He has a ton of great content, especially on the motivational side of things. But with those words, here comes Evan and his take on limiting beliefs. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being great. See you in the next one. Bye, guys. Freedom.
So one of the concepts I talk about in my book is the idea of a little man. And the little man is the person who pokes holes in your ideas, tells you all the reasons why you're not good enough, tells you why you're never going to make it. And it's really important, especially at the beginning of someone's journey, because you don't have it all worked out, because you have a bold idea. You wake up one day, it's like, I want to go off and do this amazing thing. And then you go tell a friend and they poke holes and they tell you all the reasons why it's not going to work out. And then that can easily deflate you and make you feel small. And what you need to realize is at the beginning, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't know all the answers. That's why you're reaching out to try to ask for help. But even more dangerous often is the little man is ourselves. It's not just the friends and the people around us, it's ourselves. How often do we talk ourselves down from big, bold, amazing ideas? When I was on my journey to figure out my one word, I looked at it. I didn't know I wanted one word at the time. I looked at what do I stand for? And I saw believe on a list of ideas that I had written down. And I thought, believe, it's too simple. It's too, it's like, who am I to be the believe guy? I'm not good enough to be the believe guy. There's so many people who have used believe. And it's so funny how often we talk ourselves down from big ideas before we even let anybody else know about it. And so what I highly encourage people to do, if you have a big idea, if you have boldness within you, to try to reverse engineer, try to think about what is it that gets you feeling bold on a regular basis. If you understand what your one word is, that makes it a lot easier for you to design environment and habits and routines that support you. What is it that made you feel bold? Maybe it's watching Alex's videos, right? Whatever that thing is, then put that into your morning routine. Most people wake up like an accident. Most people wake up, they fall into their day, they load up their phone, and they just start responding to the world around them instead of intentionally creating a structure through your morning routines, through your habits, through the physical environment that you set up for yourself that means something to you. If there's one thing that I can give you that would have such a massive, tremendous impact on the rest of your life, if one, you figure out what your one word is, and then two, if you found the thing that made you feel bold. You've already felt boldness in your life. You've already felt courageous in your life. It's happened to you in the past. You don't have to think of something new. You already know what motivates and inspires you. If you take that thing and instead of randomly coming across it, you put that into your morning routine. If you woke up every day and did the thing or consumed the thing that made you feel bold and courageous, if you did that even just for the next year, I guarantee you where you will be in 1 year is totally unrecognizable from where you are today. The problem is you have a bold idea, courage, mission. I'm going to go do that thing. I believe in myself. And then the next day you wake up and it's gone. And then maybe 2 weeks later, you get it again for 3 hours and then you go to sleep. You wake up and it's gone. Where if you found a way to put that into your morning routine so that you did it every single morning, if you were bold and courageous every single morning, your life, I promise you, will transform into something unrecognizable from where you are today. So that's just my quick thoughts on the little man. Often it's the people outside us telling us that we can't do things, but often it's also ourselves telling ourselves that we can't do big things, that we're not worthy, that we're not capable, that we don't have the education or the skills or the resources or connections or whatever excuse they put in front of yourself. And if you want to have success, you got to conquer. You got to conquer that little man, the internal one and the external one as well. My quick thoughts. Thank you so much, Alex, again for the opportunity. Hope you guys enjoy the book review. Hope you guys pick up the book, find value in it as well. Continue to believe, and I'll see you soon.
Freedom.